War. War never changes.
The lead up to the release of Fallout 76 is one of the more fascinating stories I've seen this year in the video game industry. Fallout 76 was announced not too long ago, in May of this year, and it's coming out on October 23rd. A game to dwarf the size of Fallout 4 by a measure of 4. At the keynote during E3, more details were spilled regarding what would become not a true successor to the open world Fallout template, but an online survival game that may take a page out of something like Rust or DayZ, even though Todd Howard does not like it when you use the word survival and Fallout in the same sentence. Not many franchises out there harbor fan dedication the way Fallout does, even though the franchise is always heavily debated, including its latest game, Fallout 4. And at some point or another, Fallout was changed from a gritty yet retro futuristic isometric game to whatever the hell you call Fallout today. Love the changes or hate them, and despite the strife among different player expectations, it's still one of the gaming catalogs on the market that people enjoy so heavily and are so passionate about. Most of it has to do with the freedom a game like Fallout gives you, as players live out their fantasies in their own way, on their own time and at their own discretion. These are huge single-player games, and people make choices that have consequences, well, at least sometimes. It's a playground of activities covered in a giant world often far removed from what many other games are offering, following a cycle of quests, optional side content, minigames, or just having you wander around doing whatever you want. They may look bleak and brown, but there is something about a Fallout game that many people connect with. Their story is often grounded in basic human necessity like finding a child, even if the game really doesn't care if you take the objective seriously or not. But despite that, when you see a Fallout game, you know it. Fallout is definitely important to our industry. There's been a lot of talk about Fallout 76, from its lack of single-player modes to the removal of classical NPCs, to a confusion regarding the story, and how motivated people are supposed to be in a world that really isn't theirs. The shared experience is something that people seem to love the idea of, or just despise. But no matter how you look at it though, concerned gamers are expressing their opinions. As a result, hate culture has tightened its grip around the new Fallout game before it has even seen the light of day. The influx of hate videos on YouTube is to be expected. The domination of hate-filled threads are also kind of expected. Publications encouraging trepidation, fear, and skepticism are here as well. There's even journalists claiming that Fallout 76 is the biggest mistake in the franchise, and others are positing that changing game mechanics are quote-unquote terrible. And let's not forget the torrential backlash by the Fallout community multiple times over. For the average game, this would be a sizable amount of delirium that would most certainly cause any game maker to pause for a breath of fresh air. The constant and what seems never-ending animosity has choked off the industry despite us knowing very little about the totality of the game. That is, until we saw the first of many preview videos offered by various outlets this weekend. And from the quality of the content, I expect this worrisome buildup of Fallout 76 to only get more chaotic. The first thing I'll say about this mess is that it's obviously unfair to critique Bethesda's new game right now, but it is okay to talk about the overall vision of the game, as I think most Fallout players by now, after many years, know what gets them excited about a Fallout game. And for most Fallout players, it's about getting lost in their own personal world. While I'm sure many gamers are excited at the prospect of jumping into a new Fallout game with friends, others do see Bethesda as forcing their hands to adopt a new type of game that they don't really want. So we've got a two-pronged pitchfork here, kind of a fork in the road, if you will. On one hand, I do appreciate Bethesda reaching out into new territory, unknown as well, but that's going to alienate fans loyal to the original Fallout design, at least some of them that don't gravitate towards this new game. So this is basically a game that has to be fundamentally good to get over the hump of this initial stigma, and given the footage I've seen lately, this is going to be quite the task. Early footage of Fallout 76, and I say early despite its imminent release in less than 2 weeks, is both incredibly laggy and downright ugly. Fallout games have never been known for their graphical fidelity or rock-solid performance, but I have to say that the visual component thus far is looking really last-gen right now. This may lead many a gamer to believe its development was rushed in time to meet the busy holiday season window. After all, near-release footage that looks like an alpha prototype doesn't exactly encourage confidence by players. Fallout has never been a pretty game to look at, but I think at some point Bethesda has got to upgrade this engine, whatever engine they're using. But that's not really the issue here, because any good game that has terrible graphics can still be a good game. The problem is that Fallout 76 isn't Fallout to many people. It's on to something new, for good or bad, and it's certainly got its work cut out for it under the deluge of such a frigid hate storm out there. If not hate, then at least the growing skepticism towards this new way to play a Fallout game. Hate's a funny thing, because I don't think anyone really wants to hate a game they're looking forward to, right? It's more about this idea that someone out there is taking something that we love and taking it away. And this is especially true for fans of the original Fallout games, the first two games before Fallout 3 in New Vegas, because they have seen their franchise go down a weird place into all manner of new directions. And once again, Bethesda is taking the next Fallout game in another completely different direction. Some people out there are just gonna want those stories to be told the way that they were once told. They want the single player dream. They want the classical style NPC setup. They want the world to be theirs, and they want the integrity of Fallout left in place, the way it once was. And you know what? I can't argue with those people, because people know what they want. So when Fallout completely changes its ways, and then releases a whole bunch of footage that looks kind of like it's been rushed, and it looks ugly, and the performance sucks, and just doesn't really look like what anything had envisioned for this game, you can see how the hate culture has definitely taken root. I'm not saying it's right to hate on Fallout 76, I'm just saying I can understand somebody who does. There's the catch-22 of having a long-standing franchise and being shackled to the ideas that came before today. I actually admire Bethesda for doing something new, but if this game turns out to suck, you better believe there's gonna be a wild shitstorm on the internet, and it's gonna get ugly. And if it does, you know exactly who's gonna cover it. So thank you, viewer, for watching my video today. I really appreciate it. If you've got an opinion on Fallout 76, make sure to drop it down below in the comment section. Have a great day, guys. Catch you later.